Good evening and welcome to One Creative Teacher tutorial on making a cupcake topper using your Cricut. This is the sample that I made and we're going to play around with this a little bit. It is adjustable. You can do whatever you want to do with it. We're going to use the word love. I think for the next one I'm going to decrease the offset on that a little bit more. This is a little too wide for my liking, but of course it's your creation, so you can do whatever you like. First thing you're going to do is you're going to open up your Cricut and go to a clean canvas. So you're going to click on canvas. It's going to open up a new canvas for you. Then you're going to go down on the side where it says T text. This is where you're going to go. Click. It will open up your text box. The word text will come in. Once you go back up to the top, you're going to see that the default font is the Cricut Sans. You can use that, or you can use any other Cricut font that you have available. I like to use my system fonts because I have more variety with my system fonts than I do with Cricut. If you're going to use your system fonts, just click on System and look through your fonts. I recommend using a very thick font and preferably a print font instead of a calligraphy or cursive type decorative font, because it's easier to do vertical with just solid print fonts than it is to when you're making a cupcake topper. Cursive and calligraphy and all the fancy fonts, they work great if you're working horizontally, but if you're going vertically, you're going to need a simple font. But again, it is up to you. For this demonstration, I'm going to do the Cooper Black because I think that is one that pretty much everyone probably has on their system. Oops, not the one I want. Uh-oh. Let's see what we got. There we go. I'm going to click there. And as you can see right here, the text changes to the Cooper Black. So you're going to click on that box and you want to take out the word text and you're going to put your letters in. So you will put in your first letter, and I'm going to use all caps for mine. So I put in my first letter, love. Then I hit enter, put in my second letter, O, enter, V, enter, E, enter. And that's going to then click outside, brings me off. I'm going to move this over so we can see the word love. Now, we don't want to use it like this. We're going to have to do some manipulation, but first thing you want to decide is how tall and how wide you want your topper to be. If you're using the sticks, you're putting them on cupcakes, candied apples, whatever you're using them for, you can measure the length of your stick and decide how wide you want it to be. Measuring the length of my stick, this one happens to be, let me take that off, about 5 3/4 of an inch. So the topper should extend over the stick, but also giving it room for you to put it into your cupcake or into your candied apple, whatever you're putting it in. As you can see back here, this is extending above. The word love is extending above the stick. So it's up to you. Play around with it. See what works best for you. Now that we have our love in, what we're going to do is go here to the right side of your Cricut, and you're going to see 2 boxes. You're going to click on that. That is your ungroup box. You want to have those letters separate so you can move them separately. So once you have that, you can click on each letter, each individual letter, or you can click back over on the right hand side. So if I click on that O, that's the only thing that's going to move is that O. And I want to move it up, so I'm going to use my space keys here on my computer, and I'm just going to move that up until it touches the L. You want them to overlap just a little. I'm going to click off to make sure that there's an overlap there. I think I need to move that up just one more. Okay, click off, looks good. And I'm going to go to my V, same thing. You can click on the V on your screen, or you can go over to the right side of your design space and click on the letter here. And again, you're going to move your key, you're going to use your space key, move it up, 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 again, until it is slightly overlapping. Click off to make sure. Okay, that looks good. Then I'm going to move my last letter, E, all the way up, 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 up. I might move that up just a smidge more. Okay, I think we're ready. Now I want to go back and group all of this. We group it all together so that when we're moving it around and we're adjusting our height and width to fit our sticks that we're using, they all move and it's proportionate. So I'm going to draw a box around it, let go back up to the right hand side, and you're going to see those two boxes again, but this time the outlines are solid. You want to click. When you have those 4 points, that lets you know that your letters are grouped together, and when you move it, it moves as one. As you move it around, it moves as one. Now you want to go back up to the top where you see the lock. This is where you are going to adjust your height and your width. I suggest unlocking that so that you can do height and width separately, because if it is locked, it is going to lock the proportions and it's going to move proportionately. Unlocking gives you a little bit more flexibility in being able to do your sizing. Right now, the width is about less than an inch. I want that to be 2 inches. So I'm going to go in, put in my 2, hit enter. As you can see, the width changed. Now I want to go in and work with the height. I think I'm going to go for about 4 inches this time and hit the height. Let me just double check my measurements on what I did with this first one. Oh, I did about 4.5. Okay, I like that height, so I'm going to do 4.5. Whoops, I put in 45 instead of 4.5. My goodness. Okay. I'm not quite sure what happened there, so I'm going to go back and hit my key. Yep. 4.5. There we go. And there we are. That brings it back. So we have our base layer all ready to go. My width is, I'm going to change my width also to 1.75 because this is going to end up being the second layer. It is the white layer that you see. The offset is going to be a little wider. So this will make 1.75, hit enter, there we go. I'm going to change the color of this. You can leave it the same color if you like, but I like to change the color to whatever colors I'm using. It just helps me to keep it more organized. So I'm going to go up here where it says, and make sure it's on basic cut. Then the little box beside it is your color box. You can put it any color you want. I'm just going to put pink because I know that it's going to be my second layer. Oops, sorry. My second layer is going to be white. So I'm going to put white as my second layer because I know my second layer is going to be white. Now that we have this color change, we need to unite all of these. We need to connect it, because if we do not, when your Cricut cuts, every line that it sees is going to cut. So it's going to cut all of these out separately, and we don't want that. So you want to go down to the bottom on the right hand side where it says combine and click unite. And now you see that there are no lines going between the letters, and good, we did a good job with overlapping. So that's good, that's ready to go. Now we need to do the offset for that. Come back up to the top of your design space. You'll see the word offset with a little pentagon, with a solid pentagon with dotted line around it. Click it. The default is 0.25 inches. As I said, that I used the default on this one, but I don't like it that wide, so I'm going to change it to 0.20. And you can change it to whatever you like. Down here sets the corners. How do you want your corners? Do you want rounded corners? However you want your corners to be. I've got mine's unrounded. Hit apply. And, oops. My offset went away. 0. Apply. And there you see the offset. If you look back over here on the right hand side, you're going to see you now have 2 layers. You have your offset, which is the black, and then you have your first layer, which is in white or whatever color you choose. I'm going to go here and I'm going to change the color of my offset to green. Again, you don't have to do that. This is just, it helps me. There we go. There's my green. So right now I have 2 layers that I can separate and put back together. I'm going to go back up here and undo so I get it back in a correct place. Now we need one more layer. We need that top layer. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this layer off and you're going to duplicate it. To duplicate it, you go back over to your panel on the right hand side of your Cricut design space, and you're going to make sure you have this box highlighted, clicked, and you can tell right here because it's green. Whatever is green is the layer that you're working on. Go here, click the 2 boxes, one of them have a plus, duplicate. You've got your duplication. So now you have your 3 layers. I'm going to make this 3rd layer pink. Come back over here. Put my original layer back. Then, now you're going to manipulate your sizing again so that you get a good amount of space. So again, go back up to the top of your design space, click the lock. We don't want to lock proportions. We want to be able to change it. We know that we had the width for our original one at 1.75. You don't want it that same width. So you can start experimenting. I'm going to do 1.70. That really doesn't give me a lot of spacing showing. So let's take it down to 1.55. Enter. And let's move it to see. Again, how much you have showing between these layers is definitely up to you. When you have it to your liking, where it looks good to you, it's like, yes, that is what I want, then you leave it there. I think I'm going to go down to 1.52. Enter. I want a little bit more of that 2nd layer showing. And again, just play with it until it gets to something that looks good to you. Oh yeah, 1.50. And once you've perfected it, you can write down your numbers so that each time you go to make a cupcake topper or a candied apple topper, you don't have to go through this each time. Now we want to change the height because we want a little bit of the second layer showing at the top and bottom. I don't want to do a whole half an inch. So I'm going to go down to 4.25. Hit enter. And move it around. Yeah, no, I don't like that. You can also move your handles here to help you get it proportioned the way you want it. Move over a little bit. Down a little. Okay. And as you change, you will see that your proportions are changing at the top of your design space. So again, once you have it the way you want it, you can write those measurements down or you can wait until you cut it out. All right, I like it. It's good. Everything is connected. We're going to make and make sure that you have the correct machine that you're using at the top of your design space. For this one, I'm using my Explore Air 2. You can use your maker, whatever you have, but for this tutorial, I'm using my Explore Air 2. Then you're going to click where it says Make, and you should get 3 screens to come up. It's going to ask you if you want to save it. Of course, you want to save it. Give it some type of name, put it in one of your collections. I'm just going to put it in my card base. And I'm going to name it Candied Apple Topper. And save. Okay, now that you have it exactly the way you want it, what looks good for you, now you're ready to do your cutting. So I'm doing this on my Explore Air 2. You can use whichever of your Cricuts you have available. Just remember that it is showing for the Cricut that you are using. Go back up to the top, click the Make button, on Matte, and confirm. On your Cricut, in order to set the type of material on your Explore Air, you have to change the information here. You should put it on custom. Once you have it on custom, that is going to bring up a list of materials that you're able to choose from so that you can pick the best material, the best cut for your material. So I have it on custom. Now you have 3 mats for all 3 levels. The first mat is the white level, second one is the pink level, and the third is that green glitter. You don't have to use glitter. Again, you use whatever paper works best for you. Here, this is the first cut, second cut, third cut. We want to click on Continue. It is connecting to my machine. And here you have different types of papers and vinyls that you can choose from. My first 2 layers, the pink and the white layers, are medium cardstock. So for those 2 layers, I'm going to click medium cardstock. I'm not going to change the pressure because it cut those 2 just fine. Once you have chosen the material you're using, if you look at your Cricut, it is telling you it is ready for you to load the mat. You see the double arrows that's flashing. Let me move this and bring my mat over. Once you have your mat, you want to make sure that you are looking at your laptop or whatever device you're using to make sure that you are cutting the correct layer. So I'm looking at my laptop and I can see that, oh, okay, that is my first layer and it is the white layer. And that's another reason that I color code. Let's see, make sure this is large enough. Yep, that should do. Might be close, but you know we Cricketers, we like to live on the edge. Put it down. Use my brayer to secure the paper. And this is a Cricut brayer. You can order this off Cricut.com. It works great. Oh, I need to put my extensions on there because this rack I purchased so that it can save me space in my workroom. Usually I have my maker under there, but for video purposes, I thought it would be best to move it out the way. So I have these little extensions that go up here where my Explorer 2 sit at the top. I think I got the rack and the extensions from Amazon. I will go and check and I will put the link for those in the description box. So you want to put your mat in, click the double arrows, make sure it feeds all the way. Then the light for your Cricut is going to come up. That tells you, oops, we are ready to go. Press it. And the magic happens. All right, once it has finished, the double arrows will begin to flash again. Click it to unload your mat. I like to turn my mat face down so that my paper doesn't curl, especially if I am working with a thinner paper. And there we have it. That is the white layer. So let's put this to the side. Take a look at your laptop and see what's cutting next. My laptop, the next one is the pink layer. So again, I'm going to put the paper down. Here's my brayer. The light is flashing, the double arrows. It's telling you, ready for the mat. Once you have your mat prepared, just put it under. Oh, and I am using my light grip Cricut mat. Cricut light is flashing. Click, and we're ready to go. Double arrow clicking, flashing, click to unload your mat, take it out, turn it over, and simply remove. There we go. Oops. All right. And And here you have your pink layer. Put it over to the side. The next one, next and last, is going to be your offset. This is very thick cardstock, and it is also glitter cardstock. Whenever I'm cutting glitter cardstock, I like to turn it face down. And this is from Recollections, which I purchased from Michael's. And your brayer definitely comes in handy with your cardstock. Put it down. Give it a real good going over. Make sure it's stuck on there. And again, it's face down, so I have to make some changes on my laptop. I'm going to bring this back over so you can see. We're now down here on this number 3 basic cut. Make sure you turn on your mirror. You want to mirror that. You've got your glitter cardstock turned face down. You also want to go back up here. You need to change this. You need to change this to heavy cardstock because it is a very heavy cardstock. And my experience in working with this particular cardstock, I also need to change the pressure on there to more. And I believe that gives me 3 cuts. And I usually get very nice, clean cuts with that. All right, so we'll move this back out of the way. Again, your double arrow is blinking. Let's put it in. Click. Okay, and I'm going to take that out for a moment because I see that this is lifting off of this light grip. And this one's pretty old, so I might try one of my newer light grips. If that happens, you can try one of your others, or you can do a little tried and true trick and put down a piece of tape to help it stay down. Any tape you have around is fine. Painter's tape works great. And there went my light. Just put it at the corner. Keep it from moving. And a piece down at the bottom. And I'm going to go back in. I'll be back with you in just a second. I'm going to move my lettering over some because I put tape there and I don't want it to cut through the tape. Okay. Okay. I'm back. We're ready. Double arrows flashing. Click. Cricut is flashing. This is the second pass with the cut. And the third. All right. Unload your mat. Nice clean cuts. going to move this over. And I'm just going to click done because we are finished with that. Now we're going to put it together. Have something down that you can protect your working surface with. And now let's put it together. I prefer using glue to put it together. The glue just tends to hold it better, and it's more flexible than tape. It gives you wiggle room. You can use double-sided tape if you like to put it together. It's up to you. It is your preference on what you want to do. There are 3 glues that I use. I use the Art Glitter glue. Awesome glue for paper crafting. I also use the Barely Art glue. Another great glue. And I like these because they have precision tips. When you're doing fine work, when you have to put just a little bit of glue in very thin lines or thin spaces, they have the precision tips. I also use, and one of my favorite is the Reptile glue. It came from a bigger bottle, so I put it into this bottle that has a precision tip. But when I'm working with even smaller, I put it into a smaller bottle. Again, it has the stainless steel pin in there so that it doesn't get clogged. So I'm going to use my Reptile glue today. We're going to put this together. The first one is the Offset, which is the Love, of course. And the second one was the white layer. Put it down. Sort of put it down and size it up. See? Awesome. See where you want it to go. And again, using the glue is just more flexible because, baby, once you put that down with tape, you can't move it. If I put it down with my glue, I still have some time that I can wiggle it around and move it to where I want it to be without it sticking permanently. Okay. Make sure you get around the edges. You don't want those edges pulling up. On this layer, if you're using glitter, make sure that you're, very generous with your glue because it's a little bit more difficult for it to stick on glitter. Okay. Then size it up. Look to see where you want to put it. Get those edges even. And again, as you can see, I can wiggle this around. I can move it around. I can still pick it up because my glue hasn't dried yet. I can't do that with the double stick tape. Okay, there we go. We've got it. Use our spatula to make sure it's good and stuck. And Love Posh Paper Lady. This is her spatula from her website. If you haven't watched any of her videos, please go over to her channel and watch her videos. Her videos are awesome. She is an awesome paper crafter. So, okay. We've got that down. Yes. And just let that dry. Next layer, the top layer, to kind of eyeball it before you start gluing. Looks good. So whatever looks good for you. And yes, this is recycled paper. I try not to waste paper. Again, being very liberal with your glue. Make sure you're getting those edges. Inside edges and outside edges. And don't worry if it gets on the paper on the other parts that you're gluing it to, the other layers, it dries clear. All three of these glues dry clear. The art glitter, the reptile glue, and the barely art glue. I think I need to refill this bottle soon. Around the edges. Oops. Put my pen back in so it doesn't dry out. And turn it over. Put it down where I think I want it to go. And remember, you still have time to move it around. And in moving it around, you're also spreading that glue around. So that's good. Okay. Sit down and use my spatula. All right. And there you have it. You have your topper ready to go onto your stick. Now, there are two ways you can attach this. You can attach this with hot glue, which means that if they're eating a candied apple, you have to make sure you leave room for them to be able to hold it. Or you can take a little strip of your paper and create like a little band to hold it on there. And that way they can slip it in and out. And I'll show you with this one. And they can keep this. They can keep your beautiful work that you did and collect them as they buy more cupcakes and more candied apples or whatever you're using these toppers for. But you just slide it in and out. And that way they're still able to hold their candied apple. Or if you're putting this on a cupcake, they can take it out, eat their cupcake, and again, still keep your beautiful topper that you created. I hope this was helpful. And again, thank you so much for joining me with my tutorial for cupcake and or candied apple topper or whatever you want to use it for. Have a fabulous evening. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.